Given equation with real coefficients of a quadratic function, okay, so it's going to be degree 2. It has a 0 at 2 plus I, and it has a y-intercept of 5. Give the answer in factored form and multiply it out. All right, well, if they've given me a 0, I know a factor, right? I know one of my factors. Since it's quadratic, it's degree 2, it's going to have 2 zeros and 2 factors. And I know that zeros always come in conjugate pairs. Complex zeros always come in conjugate pairs. So if I have x equals 2 plus I is a 0, then x equals 2 minus I is also a 0. And if I know zeros, then I know factors. So x equals 2 minus I is a 0, means x minus 2 plus I is a factor. And another factor would be x minus 2 minus I. And I've got some unknown leading coefficient in equals y. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this all out now. So first I'm going to distribute my negatives. So I've got y equals a times x minus 2 minus I and x minus 2 plus I. So I'm just distributing the negative here and this negative over here. And then I'm going to multiply these out. So I have y equals a times, take my x in the first set of parentheses and distribute it to every term in the second set of parentheses. So I have x squared minus 2x plus ix. Then I move to my 2 and I distribute that to every term in the next set of parentheses. So I've got minus 2x plus 4 minus 2I. And then I go to my I and I distribute that to every term in the next set of parentheses. So I have minus ix plus 2I minus I squared, but I squared is really negative 1, so I'm going to write plus 1. And now I cancel stuff and I combine like terms. Okay, so I have a plus ix and a minus ix. I've got a minus 2I and a plus 2I, and I can now combine like terms. So I have y equals a times, I've got an x squared. I have minus 2x is minus 4x. And then I have a plus 4 and a plus 1, which is plus 5. So now I just have to figure out what a is, and I'm going to use that using the y-intercept. It is another point. The y-intercept of 5 means 0, 5 is a point on the graph. So I'm going to plug in 5 for y and 0 for x and solve for a. And you get that a has to be 1. Okay, so my final factored form equation is y equals 1 times x minus 2 minus I times x minus 2 plus I. Right? I went back to this guy and just replaced the a with the 1. That's my factored form, and then my multiplied out form or polynomial form, go back to this equation and replace the a with a 1. So I have y equals x squared minus 4x plus 5.